What's up, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of the Pit Therapy Podcast with me, Trevor and Kyle. And we are stoked to have our main man, Rob, Will to Live, but on talking Outpost 31 today. And then guitarist for Outpost, Chris. We're stoked to have you guys on here with us. How are you guys?
Doing great,
good,
thank
man.
you.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah,
yeah,
of course. No, we were really excited. Rob, we've got to give you some props, okay? Because the first time, and we were telling Chris this before we came on, right? The first time we had you on, we didn't realize who you were and how much you impacted the Texas hardcore scene. Yeah. Because of what you did and everything, we have talked to half of Texas, and we feel like we're part of the family at this point.
But you are because anyone in my heart, anyone that supports and Texas hardcore and wants Texas hardcore and Texas bands to move forward, that's part of my family, man, and it always has been. I've always made it a point for that to be the case, man. But thank you much, and really thanks for supporting so many bands that may otherwise not get all the love that they deserve. Or if they're already getting love, shit, they can always use some more. So thank you very much, and thanks for the kind words. I always thought that it's better if someone else says it about you rather than you walking around saying, "Hey, fucking respect me. Hey, I did this." That's cheesy shit, man. But
listen,
thank you.
Between what you guys have all been through, you can say it. Absolutely walk around, head held high, just take all the accolades. Yeah. You're good. So,
and that you guys keep doing it because I remember very vividly, Rob, when we talked last time, you're like, I've got a lot more shit to say. Like, it's not just like old man Rob playing music, I still got stuff. And so talking about Outpost 31, I think is just awesome. And
it's old guys playing music about old shit.
You know what? Badass though.
Yeah, man. It's like it's crazy. It's like we talk about this often, how we've gotten older, and it's funny how I remember when I was like 15, 16, I had about 3-4 years deep into music. And my folks and friends would tell me, you're gonna when you get older, you grow out of that. You're gonna grow out of it. It's like, and it got worse. And it got worse. It's like, motherfucker, I'll be 50 in a couple of months, and it's like, I have zero desire to slow down necessarily. And I think, and I'll turn it over to Chris here, but if anything, I think we've gotten better at what we do, and being family people, family men with responsibilities, to the household daily. When we do stuff, it has to hit. And I think we've gotten better at making sure that what we're doing is good and impactful, right?
Well, and we love that because right before you jumped on, we were talking with Chris and he was saying the same thing. So Chris, you were saying, you old guys, there's the few of you that just have that itch. What is that itch? What keeps you doing this after all this time?
What it comes down to is, at least for me, I just like writing songs. I like making music, especially, I didn't write the Outpost record, that's a whole nother story. But just in general, what keeps me going is I'm a musician at heart, and as long as my friends want to make music with me and the project sounds cool, I'm gonna be down for that.
And that's the key thing right there, man. It's like there are lots of there is a to quote the great El Guapo from the Three Amigos, there's a plethora of no, that's not El Guapo, that's Jefe that does that. That's of musicians and new younger bands, that are coming out of Houston and Texas in general. And I mean, the bar of proficiency, musical proficiency, has been raised. Uh, since Will to Live, since Bitter End, since Power Trip, and it just keeps going higher and higher, compared to what it was, when I came about 30 years ago. Um, and where it was more heart than actual skill, right? and you know, it, for me, having knowing that there are that caliber of people out there, you know, what keeps me going is really being able to do the music that I like the way I like it, not the way it's. I'm not into riding the wave that is popular right now. I like what I like. I like my burger a certain way. I like my coffee a certain way. Don't fucking play with it, please. The wheel has been reinvented so long ago. Do not try to reinvent it for me. That I'm. There are plenty of other bands and genres that you can do that with. For me personally, I like my things a certain way, and the key for me is making music with my friends, man. And I'll go into the Odyssey. And funny that I've been, as a proper nerd, I have been revisiting. I've been rereading the Odyssey lately,
Sick.
but it's like, I mean, it was an odyssey to get this record done, and it's insane that after all the looking we did, or like how difficult it was to solidify a local lineup, and specifically for a guitarist, that because I had it in my head that it had to be a friend, it had to be one of the boys, and that it ended up being Chris. That James, our drummer, suggested Chris, and I was like, man, you think he'll do it? You think he's into it? Man, it was so awesome to see it come together with him. Like, it really was.
Well, dope. Go ahead, Kyle.
So yeah, I was just gonna say to like preface this. So Outpost 31 released an album, Isolation, that came out. Let's see,
It was
January,
on Christmas,
right?
right?
January 1st, wasn't it?
Soft release on Basecamp exclusively.
Okay.
December 25th, Christmas Day.
Yeah, it was on
That
Christmas.
was
Okay.
first contact, and then,
Okay.
It's streaming on New Year's Day.
On New Year's Day. Okay.
That's right.
streaming
Okay.
everywhere. All I guess the top. I'm sure there's some weird, obscure shit devices out. I mean,
Spotify, Apple Music,
there's some weird platform
normal
out there
people.
that only releases stuff that sounds like it was done in a play school recording thing. But yeah, this one is on all the major ones.
Yeah.
Sick.
Well, it sounds great, but this album is a theme album. I don't know is there like a technical term for that?
There is
A
Concept
a
album?
concept album.
About
Absolutely. Yes.
the what year was that? 1982 movie, The Thing. John Carpenter movie, The Thing, right?
Correct. Yes. Yeah, man. Man, I don't know how much time we have, but I mean, but the project, man, I'd been itching to do like a thrash project. Man, like seriously, for 10 years, like where it was like, no, we have to do this for real. And I kind of pitched it to a couple of folks, and they were like, maybe, including some of my friends that were in pretty successful like death metal bands here in the area, and in specific, my friend Jerome. These guys were some of my best friends when I first moved to Texas. My first demo that I ever recorded was with a personal project that was called Primitive, and I needed that. Like, I wrote 2 songs, and I was like, let me just, I wrote and performed everything in it. I played the drums like this, and I was like, I just need a drummer that is willing to play this, and I will use this recording to search for musicians to start a band. And I did. These were the guys that helped me with it back in 96, 97. And I used that tape to to recruit people for Will to Live originally, right? But anyway, so these guys have been collaborators for a long time. Some of the guys ended up doing The Way to Respect for me back in 2009. That's another project we can talk about at another point. But I approached them about doing this, and the main writer, my friend Jerome, he was into it, and but he wanted to do a little more death metal, like more like that Testament album, like demonic, like low, where the vocals were a little more guttural, and it's definitely more death metal than thrash. And man, he started going all into it, and I was like, all right, yeah, I'm liking where you're going with this. I'm liking where you're going with this. Let's do it together. And man, he just locked himself in a room for a couple of days and came out with like 4 songs that were just insane, based on like the evil parts of Lord of the Rings, like the Uruk-hai army marching to Helm's Deep,
Yeah.
Sick.
like just really nasty, hateful lyrics. And he has this amazing guttural voice and and I was like, and he's like, all right, man, there it is. All you need to do is figure out what parts you wanna do your vocals in, and you can contribute to it. And I was like, what do you want me to do to this besides fuck it up? This is fucking awesome as it is. Leave it alone. And it had a hard ass name too, and it was called The Way of Pain.
Okay.
Um,
That is a sick
so
name.
man, that just kind of nothing came of it. It was just those 4 songs, and I ended up not contributing anything to it, and they just kind of got lost in obscurity. And I kept like bugging Jerome about it, like, hey, how about we do it with more way to respect, more Way of Pain. Come on, let's do another one. Let's do more. And it was years, dude. And then kind of like around pandemic time, he's got his household has uh, folks that were like at risk with COVID, and he's like, yo, I can't bring. I like to sit in a room and jam with people for this. I don't want to be the one that brought some bullshit to the house and got people very ill. So that was kind of the last of trying to get something done with him. And I had pitched it like my Hail Mary pass to try to get this done was, dude, how about we just do an album based on The Thing? And that was around pandemic time that I told him, like the movie from the beginning to the end, like from the little ship is coming down to Earth to when you're having that last drink, and they kind of leave it as to where you don't know who was the thing. And you know that, I mean, he said, yeah, man, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. And after a while, I was like, all right, man, he's got stuff going on, and I respect that, and I'll just kind of let it be for a while. But I never really let it be for a while because I just kind of put myself. My wife, Esperanza, she's a very strong supporter of everything I do, and specifically with music. She's always been an encouraging force into me staying with music, even though I was thinking, hey, I need to be more at home, more taking care of our kid. He's got special needs, and she's like, well, you don't want to stop doing this. Like this is something that he can enjoy seeing you do, or that he can. I mean, it'd be cool for him to see you in your element, and you know, she got my. Uh, she got the spark going for me to write a new Will to Live album, which was the 2023 therapy sessions. I don't know if I mentioned this when we talked back then, but I set a goal. I was like, yo, so I'm gonna do a Will to Live album, ASAP. It took 3 years. Uh, I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna do that thrash album, you know, and it's gonna be a new way of pain record, right? And in the meantime, like while I was writing that, then somebody hit me up about doing True Intentions, which is that other band,
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
right? So then I was like, okay, 3 goals, and it took 5 years to get to get all 3 of them done. But I mean, I can cross them out that we got them done, and I really, really once to do the Outpost 31 stuff, I started like thinking it out, and I was like, man, this can just go on and on and on, man, because this is like a John Carpenter universe, and he has so
Hmm.
many badass movies. Like I was telling the boys, man, I'd love to do an album where I can talk about Big Trouble in Little China, and
Yeah.
not like the cheesy funny parts that are still hilarious, but like kind of focus on that Chinese black magic part, about Lo Pan. There's the fog. There's you
Halloween.
know I'm sorry.
Halloween.
There's Halloween. Then of course, uh,
They
they
live.
live.
Yeah,
They
that's coming
Yeah.
up
live.
a
They
lot.
live.
And but let's test the waters and see, if an old dog can still bust out old tricks or new tricks. I'm sorry. Well,
Yeah.
not really, because these are old tricks. I mean, I was into thrash and metal before. That was my gateway to hardcore, was thrash and death metal. I mean,
Yeah.
I know some of our founding fathers in hardcore say don't ever trust a hardcore kid that didn't come in through punk. But
Punk. Yeah.
hey, what can I say, man? I love those guys, and I got into hardcore with their most metal record. As a
Yeah.
matter of fact, God bless Roger and the guys, man. I got into them with One Voice, actually.
Yeah.
That was the record that was out when I got into AF. But yeah, I mean, it's the sweet spot for me, man, because I really don't have much acting to do. It's That's the kind of music I mean, you go through what I listen to, and I listen to my hardcore bands, but it's like I've never I mean, my Testament records have always been in rotation.
Mm,
My old school Metallica has been in rotation. So to do that kind of stuff is just comes so natural
yeah.
It's
uh,
awesome.
You know,
to me, man.
you talk about how like, you know, I think that like this kind of crossover thrash record actually is it's a really good time to release it because there is a little bit of like a resurgence of that sound. You know, there's some really cool bands out there doing
There
that. But
is.
Chris, when Rob came to you and kind of pitched this idea, were you just like an album about the thing, or were you just like, hell yeah, let's do it?
Actually, it wasn't Rob that came to me.
Okay.
So our drummer James, he and I are good friends. He and I were in Die Young together for a long time. So, but we still hang out a lot. And he told me about this project that Rob had talked to him about, just to tell me about it. Not hey, do you want to be a part of it? And I'm thinking, wow, that's badass. I would love to be a part of it. I'm thinking about that in my head. But I'm not like a thrash. I never considered myself like a shredder, really. Um, but it was kind of in the back of my mind. And then he kept saying that they would go through a guitar player and they would quit, or what, for whatever reason it wouldn't work out. And so after about, I don't know, 4 guitar players, he's finally like, hey man, do you know any guitar players? And I'm like, yeah man, me, I'll do it. uh, I may not be able to pull off some of these crazy ass solos that are needed for a thrash record, but I'll
Oh,
help. you know I want to be a part of this because the
Yeah.
concept just sounded awesome to me. Like, I'm really into like just cool ideas for concept records and stuff like that, and just sounded like a fun project to be a part
and
of.
I was
So
like, what
we
the
kind of
fuck,
locked in
dude?
after that.
I was like, what the fuck, dude? Why didn't anybody think of Hasp before? Nickname, a nickname that Chris had in the past. Why didn't anybody fucking bring him up before, dude? Uh, and that's what I'm saying. It was just crazy that it ended up being somebody so close. But to me, it was key that it had to be somebody that was a friend, but that also liked the thing and
Yeah.
was sold on the project. Uh, because I'm, by nature, I'm a salesman, and I mean, as soon as I had anything to show for the project, like the first couple of riffs that I had, like our True Intentions guitarist Reese wrote some riffs, and I mean, he told me himself, I'm not a thrash guitarist, dude. This is just gonna sound this is what I can do, and see what you think. And he wasn't very happy with him as it was. So I ended up hitting up Jacob from Bitter End, and I pitched it to him, and he said that sounds badass. And then he grabbed some of those riffs, dude, and he came up with that second track in the album. Arrival was the first song he showed me, and I was like, this is it. This is it. You know, this is finally we're gonna get this done. And fuck, man, it took like, you know, with him living in Ohio and having, you know, his own responsibilities, including, you know, playing with Bitter End whenever he's able to. Uh, shit, man. Um, it took like I think his first track, that survival track, came in around this time, 2022. So early February 2022. The last track came in like December 16th. You know, and I had been writing lyrics, like I had like a whole stash of lyrics. I had the whole thing laid out before he even finished. So I was like, can I get on one more song? Because I was like, he had like 6 songs, and I was like, dude, that only gets me to the blood test, dude. I need 2 more. I need at least 2 more. We need one that gets us to where they're hunting down Blair, and they get to the underpassages there, and I actually see the thing and blow it up, and in one final confrontation. I need at least 2 tracks, bro. You gotta help me. And bless his heart, man. I hounded him enough to where he busted out those tracks, and you know, I was done with the demo, with the full eight songs demoed out New Year's Eve 2022. So you figure we didn't start tracking the album that you hear now until uh,
It's like March last year.
March 28th,
Yeah.
2025. 2025, yeah. So
Well, so we talked to you the first time in March of 24, and you were telling us about this. And you were saying that it had been sitting on the back burner and it was something that you were working on and all that stuff. And we were just waiting, right?
I think
What's
we're
he gonna see?
I think we're on guitarist number 3 or number 2 at that time.
Yeah.
You know, and everybody that came to it, I mean, everybody came with the best of intentions, but you know, sometimes things don't work out. And man, I'll always respect, you know, people's lives and people's real things that are going on over a musical thing. And I'm still in great terms with great friends with everybody that came to the project, man. So, and grateful that they even considered it. So, I'm pretty. Again, I'm happy with how, even if it took this long, I mean, I guess I'm enjoying it that much more because it's been very nicely received. You know, I think
Yeah.
a lot of folks have liked it, and not surprisingly, a lot of people right in that sweet spot that I expected. I expected like Gen X to be representing in full force, and it's even been even better to see a lot of younger folks be into it. Like as you were saying, you know, this is a kind of sound that's a little more listened to now than 20 years ago. I mean, there was a time where a lot of these bands, a lot of these thrash bands, the all the originators, you know, that were out there trying to reinvent themselves to appease what people were listening to in the mid 90s, early 2000s, you know, and because thrash, original sounding thrash was not a thing, and a lot of records went out of print. Um, so this was a nice way to, you know, kind of tip the hat, show love, write a little love letter to thrash. That kind of like mid '80s thrash, um, done by hardcore dudes. I mean,
Yeah.
this is no technical corner or you know, like Watchtower or anything um, overly technical like that. I mean, it really. I mean, I know the boys told me you sound pretty bossy saying that, Rob, but I mean, it reminds me of like without the amazing Kirk Hammett solos, but like, I mean, it reminds me a lot of like that early Metallica, that Kill 'Em All, that Ride the Lightning style Metallica, that early Bonded by Blood Exodus, which is awesome that Jacob went there, because that's kind of what I had told him I was going for originally, man, and he demoed out some pretty cool sounding solos, and you know, Chris kind of came in with that in mind, saying that, hey man, I don't know if I'll be able to pull those solos off, and I was like, fuck man, like what I do? Do I just reach out to other friends that solo, that are shredders that can do this or whatnot? And Chris is just Chris is such a modest guy. But it's like, well, man, I like to like give it a shot, and maybe you can hear what I come up with, and see what we can do. And I was like, fuck, man, I already talked to Mike DeLeon from Soulfly. I was like, I heard Mike's already like in for this song, and I already talked to this other dude about another song, because I thought that maybe you didn't want to do the solos, right? And then he said, well, just I'll send you what I have, and I'm like, dude, what the fuck? These are amazing. Like, these are fucking awesome. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean you don't know if you have it in you? This is fucking awesome. And I couldn't possibly be happier with the solos that Chris wrote for the album, and with the seriousness that he took the project. Hey man, I'm very happy, because I think I'm skipping back and forth, but when we were done with the demos in New Year's of 2022, and we kind of looked at it with Jacob, and we were like, man, it sounds badass. It's a wrap. He suggested, well, let's get this over with. Like I'll record everything. I'll record guitars. I'll record bass, and I'll probably get one of my friends out here, probably get Ethan, Bitter End's drummer, to track drums, and you track your vocals. We get it mixed, and that's a wrap. We put it up online or whatever. And I was like, oh man, like, I mean, as much as I want to get it done, I already have James, our drummer, like talked up that like, hey, wouldn't it be cool to be able to do these songs live? And I already have my boy Caleb, who also plays bass in Will to Live. Like, they're like in it, in the project to do this, right? And they just kind of waited for the music to finish being written, right? And then it's like, well, I'm in Ohio, and it's like, well, let me see if I can put a band together here, and we can track, and maybe you can track your solos over there and send them here. And it's like, that's how what we looked at that time. But I had it in the back of my mind, like, these songs need to be played live, dude. They're awesome. Like, they'll get people moving.
Yeah.
And sure enough, that's what made getting to the recording part an odyssey, because we just couldn't nail it, man. We just couldn't nail it with getting guitarists that could that could do it and could commit to it at the time. And finally we did. And I got to pull the trigger on a bunch of stuff that I had like on hold, but that I had already talked about. Like, I mean, I already had like a situation arranged for a release. I already had an artist that I had already talked to. The artwork was done by this fucking awesome artist from Mexico City called Rick Cesati. Man, maybe you guys can drop a link to his thing later. If anybody is looking for any artwork that wants to harken back to that 80s or early 90s, death metal or thrash, he's the man. Like, I mean, I was looking for somebody that could pull something that evoked that era. And I actually found them on Death's website, on their IG profile. They had tagged Rick on saying what an honor to have this. He had done like a collage, like drew and painted a collage of like his favorite death album covers and like put them together into one drawing. Then I linked, and I was like, dude, I've been listening to creators since like 1989, and this is not what the album cover for Pleasure to Kill looks like. It's from a different angle. Like he's coming down. He's not like staring into the mountain after he's killed the guy. And then I'm like, this is also not official Megadeth artwork, and this is not how Rest in Peace is. So then I noticed, holy shit, this guy is is giving his own spin on these album covers, and he is the guy that needs to draw the Outpost 31 shit, and I'm gonna want something that has like McCready with a flamethrower and a thing looming behind him in the middle of nowhere, like with the starry sky in the background, and I was like, man, and who knows if people really dig this and we end up doing a release, I'm actually gonna jump the gun and have him draw a back cover. I was like, I want a back cover that's just like a starry night with just a little bit of snow and the fucking outpost on fire with like a fucking silhouette of smoke coming up. And we have that. I mean, that's one day we're gonna do a physical release, and that's gonna be available. But for now, all you get is the front cover. But that dude Rick is sick, and he was a pleasure to work with, man. And the fact that he's a huge fan of the thing himself, like, I mean, that dude was like, "Quit talking, let's do this." And I was like, I barely just started talking, and he was all into it, man.
That's dope. So, Chris, you said you heard about the project from the drummer. You were totally into it. What was the first like song or riff that you heard that you were like, okay, yes? Because like concept wise, dope. Hearing that it's Jacob from Bitter End, he's writing it, sick, right? But what's the first like riff or song that you hear that you're like, yep, that's the sound, and I want to be part of that?
The first song I heard, I think, was "The Kennel," and so that song is still very rooted in hardcore, So I heard this and I was like, well, maybe this is something that's like more at my level and I could like keep up with. First of all, but I was like, yeah, this seems like something I can do, and I had already known that I was going to say yes regardless. So
right.
Yeah, the Kennel was kind of what drew me in further, and
yeah, man.
So your background's hardcore then, right? Like what got you into this kind of music and playing guitar in this type of music?
So I've been playing guitar basically my whole life, but like my first real heroes were like Metallica and like Nirvana and stuff like that, but I started getting into hardcore in high school, Earth Crisis, Strife, early Victory Records stuff, Snapcase. And then by the time I was 17, I think I started going to shows. I joined Game Over, who was
old school.
Yeah, we were part of that, local scene where Will to Live was playing a lot, and Daniel was in Finer Truth at the time, and that's how I met Daniel. Finer Truth and Game Over went on a tour, and so we were kind of friends from there. And from there I joined Die Young and just kind of solidified my role in the scene, I guess, up until a point when we broke up.
So you had some like, I guess, I mean, you mentioned like old Metallica and stuff. So this wasn't like completely foreign,
Right. Yeah.
Was it hard though to like get in the thrash mentality of doing this?
Not really. It's pretty similar. Like, you're still playing the heavily palm muted, bar chords and stuff like that, with some cool little licks thrown in there. And, I liked playing along to Kill 'Em All and, Injustice for All when I was younger.
Yeah.
I kind of learned, power chords and riffs. Some of the first solos I ever like learned was probably like Enter Sandman, which, not the sound we're going for, but, for a 10, 11-year-old kid learning guitar. So that was kind of my intro to thrash, and then came Slayer and Megadeth,
Yes,
a
dude.
little Exodus, all that stuff came a little bit later.
Yeah.
Well, and then
Oh
you're
yeah.
currently doing Swivel though, and
Yeah,
so
totally different.
you've been
Totally different.
outside for a little bit. So are you like a closet thrash guy when you're doing Swivel stuff, or like?
No. I mean, I've always been, I'm not a closet guy, but I've always liked heavy music. Like pretty
Yeah.
much everything I like is guitar driven. I wouldn't call Swivel a heavy band, but it's alternative rock, but it's loud and heavy guitars with
Yeah.
groovy riffs and stuff like that. But I've always just if it's on the side of heavy and it's got good songwriting, I'm into it.
Also
And,
full of,
and
also another band that features a lot of bros too, like friends that have been friends with Will to Live and myself for decades too. So it's so cool, it's not like Chris comes out of like this other dimension and with dudes, people that have nothing to do with that makes it even extra cool, man, that the people he jams with are people I've known for a while too.
Yeah.
yeah,
I
like
think that's like
Brian. Yeah.
it's a special thing about this scene, because like hardcore is a genre, but it's also like a culture too, and like
Right.
Swivel fits in with Will to Live despite them not sounding the
Yeah.
same, and that's cool. Like you can't say that about a lot of other stuff. So
Yeah.
Rob, I did want to ask though, like like why specifically thrash? Because you brought up oh shoot, I can't remember the other concept one that you were working on with the Lord of the Rings.
Thrash with a
death.
little more death metal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because a lot of concept albums I hear are typically more on the death metal, traditional metal sound. Like, was there a reason for it to specifically be thrash focused, or is it just because that's a sound you love and wanted to play?
The sound I love and wanted to play, man. I mean, like what, when I started like listening to heavy music, obviously first, you know, I don't give a fuck. No one's born with an agnostic front shirt on, and unless you're Freddie, and no one's born with a fucking Sepultura shirt on either, unless you're fucking Zion or some of the kids of the music, the people in those bands. But um, I started with like listening to Dio and Def Leppard and all that kind of stuff. But what really got me into like, oh fuck, this is totally different and it's so much cooler and a little darker and a little bit like, man, I don't know if my parents would appreciate me listening to this. Especially at the time in El Salvador, living in a country that is like at the time like 92% Catholic and very, very. I don't want to be rude to my own whole culture, but like very folkloric and very
Superstitious.
very Catholic,
Like
very
traditional.
superstitious is the word. I was trying to be very cautious of what I said.
I got you.
But,
I got you.
But that's it. But that's it, right? So it's like, man, the artwork of like I mean the Metallica stuff. It was a combination of the artwork, the sound, and then you know I got into it like hard in '89, and then in 1990 I moved to the States, and over there it was like, and I'm not saying that a lot of my friends didn't listen to stuff or had older brothers that listened to stuff over there, but I remember my boy Lique Molina, his brother. I remember he had Judas Priest posters and Iron Maiden stuff also, but I mean, I guess I wasn't old enough at the time to be like fully vested into it, and it's not something I could do at my house fully at the time. But when I moved to the States, so much opened up for me, so much opportunity to just do whatever I wanted with a lot of stuff. Thank God that my addictive personalities were limited to music and food, because I had freedom to do stuff, and man, my money went to music pretty much until I was like 36 and got married, and we had my son. I mean, everything went to fund something music related. If it wasn't the records or the cassettes back in the day, CDs, it was band stuff. I had like I could have bought a gigantic house with what's been dropped into Will to Live
No
since
kidding, man.
1997. But I'm circling around, but it's thrash, dude. I mean, like, already liking Metallica, already liking Slayer, and then I thought it was hot shit because I liked that, and I was already growing out my hair, and I was 12 and a half, about my son's age. I was already starting to get that. I had that mullet in progress going on, and
Nice.
wore nothing but black. Well, I still wore pretty much nothing but black shirts, right? But all dressed in black and shit with my Reebok high tops, and in the bus and shit, like kind of coloring in fucking a mustache I didn't even have.
Little mascara on the lip.
In fucking, what is it? We used to fold the jeans. Was to fold the jeans right to the ankle,
Yeah.
right? And it's like, and I had my trusty old faithful. I have it somewhere around here, but my yellow Sony Walkman that I
Right
still
on.
rock,
Yeah.
Classic.
and I carried, just like somebody carries a man bag, but it was a red. It was like a little red tape holder, a Maxwell tape
Oh
holder,
yeah.
and I carried my cassettes there, dude, and I carried my Metallica, my. I mean, obviously the only records that were available at the time, the first five, right? I mean, I'm sorry, the first four, because they had only the current album was Justice at the
Okay.
time, and Justice for All. And then I had Slayer, I had Dio Intermission in there, and I was just always just in the bus, just trying to make sure everybody fucking knew I was a metalhead, right? I'm like just fucking rearranging my ball sack and shit, sitting down. So. And then I met my boy Tito, man. Tito was my first friend. He's this Nicaraguan dude. He's like, "Hey, what's up, man?" He has seen that, like, I had this habit of like writing, like drawing all the fucking band logos and everything
Yeah, who
everywhere I
didn't do
went.
that, man?
Right.
And
Who
so
didn't do that?
Right.
and I had it on my on that little Maxwell little carrying case. And he goes, "Hey, what's up, man? You like Metallica?" And I was like, "Fuck yeah, man." He's like, "Yeah, me too, man." And he said, "Man, come to my party, man. I'm having a birthday party May 12th. Come on out." And I went to his house, dude, and like he had all these older cousins that were like, I mean, we were 12 and a half. He was turning 13 that party. And his cousins were like 16 to the oldest one was 18. But these dudes already had long hair. These dudes already, like, everybody was wearing like death shirts, like overkill shirts. And it's like, "Yeah, man, it's my cousin Raul, man. Come check out his room." As soon as I walk in, he had that fucking, he had that gigantic ass, that green devil slayer poster, that root of all evil.
Sick.
And I'm like, "Oh fuck! Oh, this is all the shit that my parents would not be cool with me doing." And he's like, check this albums out," and he started just busting out. He started busting out. I remember him taking out MOD USA for MOD. I remember him busting out Overkill, The Years of Decay, Death, Leprosy, and like they had he had all this death metal shit, and we lived in Florida at the time, man. So it was like a hotbed. Like, these guys just put out their first album, and I was like, "What the fuck, dude?" And then there's this band Obituary, and these are all bands from here, from Florida. And it just fucking blew my mind, dude. It blew
What a
my
day
mind.
that must have been for you, Jesus Christ!
Dude.
I mean, it was insane. And then he's like, "Hey, man, you want me to make you a sampler?" And I was like, "Please, please." I still have it, by the way, in my
Sick.
garage. But yo, it was like, I don't know, man. It's like seeing, like, it's like a whole new world. Like I don't know what other reference you had in your mind, but like I remember like thinking, "Oh man, I mean, Slayer, boy, that sure is heavy." You know, at the time, I don't think Seasons in the Abyss was out yet. I think South of Heaven was the current record, but I mean, I know that's the one I really liked at the time. And I fucking hit play, and I hear dan 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 dan. First time I heard death, I was like, "Oh, this is something totally different, dude. This is something totally different." But and it was the rest is history. But those mixes also had a ton of thrash, man. They had bands like Zentrix, uh, Overkill, of course, and Testament, dude. I mean, Testament, um, the New Order album, which is my favorite Testament album, and Anthrax, huge Anthrax fans, those guys, and I mean, that's just those are records that have stayed on my rotation like eternally. Even those bands have put out new shit, and it's like, well, good for you, good for them. But this is the shit I like. And then to write an album that can pay homage to that to me has been, I mean, the icing on the cake, man. And then with the cherry on top, double cherry on top,
So sick.
that I got to do with my friends.
Yeah.
That it turned out exactly how I wanted. The triple cherry on the cake was that I got. We got our friend Craig Douglas to record it, and Craig recorded all the early. Craig's been recording me since 1996. He recorded that demo that I said I needed um, to shop for musicians back in '96.
The primitive
So
demo you were
Yeah.
talking about.
yeah, so he got his he got
crazy.
his start, with a little four channel mixer, man, and he recorded every record up until the last one, the last Will to Live record. We were booked to do it in July, I believe, and I'm asking him if everything's good in April, and he tells me, "Dude, I'm gonna have to cancel on you guys." And I'm like, "Why?" I was like, "Everything's set to go, dude. We got money. We've been like playing extra shows to have funds to do it. What's the deal? I mean, what's so important you're gonna cancel? Is you going on tour with Guns N' Roses or something?" And he goes, "Well, yes." And I'm like, "Shut the fuck up, dude. Shut up." And dude, he actually works for Mammoth. That's Eddie Van Halen's
Yeah.
his son's band. And I was, you got to be kidding me. And then their first tour was with Guns N' Roses.
Oh my god.
So he wasn't kidding. And it's like, and I was like, "Well, what about after that?" He's like, "Then I'm going to Europe and with we're going out with Scorpions." And I'm like, "Oh man, I'm never gonna see Craig again. He's never gonna record us ever again."
It's wild.
And then we did work with Alan, this guy that recorded the guy from Nerve Audio. He recorded the therapy sessions for Will to Live, and I'm elated with how it came out. And that was another person that was on the boat to do Outpost 31, but because it took so long, by the time we were ready to track, he was already not available. He already had he was already booked for months. So I was like, "Man, we're never gonna fucking finish this," So it so happened that he also wasn't really tracking much anymore. So he was more into doing just like production and
The
mixing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I was like, "Man, um, Craig's in town. Let me just pour a little honey in his ear and see what he thinks." And he fucking was down to do it. And I mean, if anybody has a fucking professional ear, it's that guy, man. I mean, he's doing it at the highest levels where being off, it means you're out of a job.
Yeah.
Right.
So that
Right.
was also an extra icing on the cakes to have somebody that I went to high school with that also loves thrash, um, being behind this album, man. I'm again,
And we've
that
all
guy.
worked with Craig before. He's not just raw. Yeah, he's done a lot of Texas bands too.
Cool.
So I think
Yeah.
me and James, I think recorded with him before, and then of course Caleb with
Yeah.
Will to Live. And didn't he do the
Die
bitter
Young.
end? Did he do?
He did the first bitter end, right?
Yeah.
I think he did the first two. I know for sure he did Climate of Fear.
Yeah.
So that all just comes back to like, again, it's all just so interconnected. And like it's
Highly
what our
incestuous.
scene is. Yeah, highly incestuous, right? I don't know if
In the
that's the
best way
term we
possible.
want to use for it, but we'll
We all
take it.
swap. We all just swap together. You know.
There you go.
No, dude, I mean it's awesome, man.
So I love this record. I think it's fantastic. Right off the bat with Arrival, that opening riff is just such an earworm. Just that bun, dun, 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 dun. Like it's so sick. I've been listening to that over and over. So good. One thing that I've been thinking about for years, and I actually think would be way cool, is like, you know, the old silent films where there was the organ player and stuff, and there's the movie playing and all that stuff. You guys need to create like scenes from the movie that are playing behind you as you're playing these songs.
I've always wanted to do that,
Dude.
like a Dark Side of the Moon, Wizard of Oz kind of
Yes.
thing.
Yeah.
This would be amazing. And
it would be a
again,
nightmare to write, though.
it would. It would be a nightmare. But John Carpenter, being the guy who does his own soundtracks and he's produced all this crazy music and stuff like that, to then swap it over into a thrash crossover, doing this stuff, it would be so cool. So,
Yes,
like,
I
listen, Outpost 31 doing this album would be awesome, but let's get like 3 albums into it and go and play like 3 songs and have scenes from the movie.
I would.
This
love
would be
that. I would
phenomenal.
So sick, dude.
It would
So
be
sick.
so sick. And this is just like perfect for it, especially like the care that you took to write them based specifically on the scenes. Like a lot of these theme albums, they take the general concept and it's like, yeah, that could be in there. No, you're like, dude, we're in the kennels. Like this is the feeling you get in the kennels. Like it's part of the movie.
Dude,
so
and
no,
the
you
level, the obsessive level of it, dude. Like I watched the movie. Man, if I watch the movie any less than 150 times, like specifically like paying attention to details, I read the novella, the Who Goes There. I watched the 1951 movie. I watched the prequel several times too, and I was thinking, well, shit, man. I don't know if we're ever gonna do anything else with this, but you know, I want to include something about Thule Station. You know, the first station that came in contact with the Thing. You know, the Norwegian crew, and you know, even the Dark Horse comics. You know, I got into all that too, and I was wondering how much. I mean, do we do 3 albums? One about the prequel, one about the Thing, and one about the what happens after the Thing, based on the what do we go based on the comic books, or do we go based on the video game? I just kept thinking there's just so much that can be done, and I mean, anybody that knows me and how I'm set on my ways, there are some things that I cannot and will not do for Will to Live. Will to Live has certain rules, no cursing. There's a bunch of things that I would never do with Will to Live, or topics I would never touch with Will to Live. But this is free game, man.
There you go. There you go.
This is free game. So
I'm petitioning it now. You're gonna find a video editor. You're gonna figure out how this all lays in. There's going to be parts where you stop, and there's going to be the dialogue from the movie that comes up, and it's going to say something right before you go somewhere. And listen,
and the time is going to be synced up perfectly.
It's going to be perfect. It's going to be a night to remember.
My friend, you guys got to check out, and it's more like a rock heavy metal album, but you got to check out my boys. You ever heard Necrofire, the black metal band Necrofire from Texas?
Sounds familiar.
That's my boy Christian Larson. Also, he's a talent buyer for White Oak Music Hall, which is a big venue out here, and he also books Hell's Heroes, which is a very significant American festival. But he has a band called Night Cobra. Night Cobra, their first album is Escape from Earth. Oh man, you gotta check it out. That would have been, I mean, going back on Carpenter. I mean, that would have been the 3rd movie for Snake Plissken. and it never got
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
So when they
Sick.
play live, right before they go on, uh, they usually have scenes from the movie playing in the background. It's sick, dude. It's sick. I love it, Christian. You're watching, bro. Yeah,
Yeah.
I told Christian too. I was like, dude, I'm gonna do a band based on the thing, dude, and I'm gonna write an album about it. And I told him that way back, around pandemic time. So I'm sure he's stoked to see that we finally got it done because I wouldn't talk his ear off. I mean, I talked his ear off about it for so long. Yeah,
Super dope. Super dope.
yeah, man. Thank you for appreciating the attention to detail, man, because it's definitely there, man. I wrote some lyrics and I went back and I was like, no, this doesn't make sense. I mean, like, because it follows the timeline, but if this is supposed to be from McCready's perspective, right? I'm over here. I'm talking in past tense here, and here I'm talking in future. I mean, like my tense doesn't match. So yeah, man, I went back and revised so many times, dude. So it's like by the time I was headed to the studio. I was like, there's nothing else, and there still was, dude, because I had
Oh my God.
put
You
so
got to set hard limits. Otherwise, every song we've ever written will still be writing. Like, if you don't
well,
just, you know,
dude, I put so much into the lyrics that because I wanted to tell the story in so much detail that I was like, dude, I will fucking faint trying to pull this off live. There's way too many lines. It
too many
doesn't.
syllables in one
There's too
bar.
many
Yeah.
syllables in here, dude. There's too much, and it doesn't sound good. So, yeah, there was definitely some trimming that went
We
on.
did have to extend some verses to fit
Yeah,
Everything
man.
real
you
lyrics
wanted to
and
say.
parts. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was again, I listened to it obsessively to the point that like when you go into the online distribution, if you want the lyrics to be synced when
Oh, like
people
on the
listen
streaming.
Oh
Yeah,
on
yeah.
yeah.
streaming, I mean you have to sit there with like you have to hold the space
Oh,
bar as
jeez.
you deliver a line, and when the line's over, you gotta let go, and then basically the whole fucking thing. So
No thanks.
it was well, damn it, I'm the lyricist, man. I want that shit to be heard. So I was like, yeah, man, I'll brave it. I'll brave it through, man. But
Sweet.
I listened to it over and over, and it's like I'm so stoked with how it came out. There's nothing I would change on
Yeah.
it, and even the, you know, we're fucking drums are recorded, guitars are recorded, bass is recorded, and then Craig goes, "Hey, dude, so every song kind of just fades out. What are you gonna do to transition between these songs?" And I'm like, "Oh man, this is
More
something you should have
decisions.
brought up
All the
before we
songs end the
fucking."
same. Who
I'm
fucking
like, "This
cares?
is something you should have brought up. You should have brought this up before we tracked it, dude." So when something could have been done about it, so instead, my little 40-watt went off, Homer Simpson style, and I was like, dude, why don't we, you know, what I would really like is I kind of first of all I want to bookend the album, so I want to make sure that it starts with like um I don't know, I mean like a crackle radio transmission or like I don't know, man, like how McCready was recording shit on his cassette, like that sound of like the cassette playing, but there's really nothing going on. That
It's that
Yeah.
that lo-fi just tape loop.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like something's
and
about to start.
yeah.
yeah, something like that. And then I'm not trying to get us in trouble legally, but can you recreate something that evokes the that droning uh, part of the score of the movie, that bass part, boom, boom, boom. Don't do it exactly like that, but just do it to where when people hear it, they're gonna be like, "Oh fuck yeah, this is it, this is it." And I was like, for the end, man, just give me something that sounds like the sound of like wood cracking on a fire, and some like I don't know, like a snowstorm, and that droning, boom, boom.
Yeah.
I want the album to be bookended like that, And then in between the songs, I mean, I think it would be cheesy if we do it for every single song, but at least, um, for
We had to get the
Arrival,
dogs. Yeah.
yeah, Arrival ended up pretty cool because it's meant to cut right into Survival, right?
Yeah.
Um, and I think like Chris couldn't have landed a better solo to finish it because it even sounds like the ship coming down
Mm.
the way he
So sick.
solos that. And then yeah, right before the kennel at the ending of Survival, uh, just Craig recreated the barking of the dogs and the opening and closing of a fence, um, and that obviously leads into that. And
I
then
think that was
the
it, wasn't it?
no,
Was
we
there?
also the opening of One Final Test is like um, also like a
Okay.
snowstorm.
Oh yeah, with the
Yeah.
bass intro. Yeah.
Yeah, and then yeah, because Quarantine doesn't have an intro. Paranoia and Distrust starts with a blistering solo that was actually delivered by Mike DeLeon
Yeah.
from Soulfly and Flesh Hoarder. What's up, Mike? Uh, and um, and then he's featured in on the long solo. Well, I asked him to do the long solo of One Final Test, and he actually jammed the song several times. And he goes, "Man, I don't know what to tell you, cuz, but I think this song needs a solo in the very beginning too." And he busted that little solo out, and then Chris does the solo after the first verse, which I mean came out amazing, dude. I mean, I'm very very elated with it. Oh, there's also a transition between actually in track number 7, Hunted the Hunter ends with obviously McCready's succeeded in setting the outpost on fire, and I asked Craig to give me some explosions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some explosions in there before all that happens, and then as it goes into the next song, it starts off with a kind of like a
So yeah, we're masking all of our simpleton endings with just clips where we
Well,
can.
listen.
yeah. You heard it here first, guys.
It turned out great. It sounded intentional, like you had originally wrote it like that. Since you started saying that, I actually have everything pulled up. I listened to One Final Test and I went to the last 10 seconds. And as you were talking, I could hear all of that. But then all of a sudden, you had the opening riff to Arrival because I have my Spotify set to replay.
Right.
It bleeds seamlessly. So, like, if someone's
Oh, I didn't
listening
even
to
know that.
this, it does. Like, it fades out for just a second, but just enough that the droning sound that you're talking about, listen to it like back to back, and you actually won't really catch the gap between where the one ends and then Arrival starts again.
Cool.
It's
Perfect.
really
Sick,
cool
dude.
how it kind of fit itself
Craig probably,
together.
yeah. Craig's
So-
a genius.
Awesome,
I
dude.
was,
hadn't
I
even
was
thought
wondering
about
why
that.
the album was like 4 hours long, when I was listening to it.
I was like,
Just kept-
did
kept
they use
looping,
this
you know?
riff like 3 times already?
Yeah.
So
Yes, sir.
no, this is a phenomenal album. You guys did great. The intention, obviously, for how long it took and everything, it's definitely there. So, what is next for Outpost 31? Are you guys going to play some shows on this? Like, what's coming up for you guys?
Well, I really would have liked to have played some songs. I mean, some shows already, but our drummer had neck surgery about a month and a half ago, Chris.
Yeah.
He had a pinched nerve that was affecting his grip, so he's rehabbing, and
We
he's
just
been-
started jamming again. We
Yep.
played through the album last week. He's getting back up to speed, but
Yeah,
we'd
when
love
you-
to play shows. We need another guitar player to sit in with us to hear the songs.
Yeah, if
we
you're
think
listening
that
and you have the chops,
deserve
you
to be
love the
played
thing,
live.
and
Listen,
your
Josh
friend-
Realms, like,
Yeah.
play with everything
Josh.
else. So,
I would love that, man. But yeah, that would be another thing that we have. I mean, I'll definitely love to do shows, and I'm talking everywhere. I mean, I don't care anywhere. If somebody wants to hear us, we'll go. we'll go play. And we just have to make it make sense, right? And dude, the mapping of where people are jamming, this is insane, dude. Like, I mean, um, like it's literally worldwide, and
Sick.
I'm loving to be getting a lot of the love that in the last will to live didn't get as hard as I tried. But a lot of people in South America and Argentina, Mexico, and even parts of like the Mediterranean and Europe, have reached out like, hey, can we do a feature for you guys? Or hey, can we would love to host your album on our channel. Just very cool, man. I mean, it's
That is cool.
I figured people would be into something that's about thrash and into something that's got something to do with John Carpenter, but I never thought it would be like this. And also, I mean, the people that are, I mean, it's like, like if you do something, if I do something for Will to Live, um, like the based on like the usernames of the or the email addresses, it's like, okay, X decision X at AOL.com or XXX for life at Gmail. I'm like, this is fucking hardcore people writing. These are
Right.
hardcore dudes. But when you're getting like a lot of 666s or like, you know, Velociraptor 666 or like Antichrist, whatever, uh, like, these are like metal people, dude, like legit metal dudes. And Violator, crazy ass Violator 715 at whatever.com. These are not hardcore dudes, and just the fact that they're embracing it, and they're not saying this is like some bullshit ass watered down metal, is very cool, man. It's because I honestly was expecting that in the back of my mind, like, hey, I'm gonna do what I want because it's how I like my burgers, right?
Yep.
But I'm sure some people will like it, and some people are gonna fucking hate it. And there's only been like out of like 8,000 people that have like streamed it on Spotify. There's been like you know one or two guys that have been like. One guy said we sounded like new metal, and the other guy said that.
New metal.
Yeah, I know, and the other guy said that we sound just like every other band these days. And I don't understand his comment, but he said, I don't hear any, I don't hear any Metallica, I don't hear any Exodus, I don't hear any Sepultura in there, and I'm
Nah,
like,
man.
all right, buddy, that's
That's just a
everyone's.
dude
I,
running
I
I
his
didn't
was
say
mouth.
it
I
then
was
too.
very honored to hear that one guy was like, man, I love this so much. I had to show it to my dad. So that
Yeah,
I had to show it
There
to
you
an
go.
older person that we hit the mark.
yeah, that definitely is it, dude. That definitely is it.
Sick. So
But
with
fuck
everyone
yeah.
reaching out and saying, "Hey, can we feature and stuff?" No one else is doing what we're doing, bringing you on a podcast, though, right? Like, obviously, we take the crown in what we're doing, right?
Yes. You
Of
guys
course,
take the
Rob's
crown
awfully
for sure.
quiet.
of course.
Rob's like, I've actually done 4 podcasts already about this, so
No, hey man, I'll
That's
do as
why.
many. I'm sorry, as my kid was asking me if I'm ready to tuck him in. Hey, give me a second, buddy. I'm almost done. Okay.
so
Um, yeah, it's like, hey man, it's sleep
yeah.
time. Come
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
No, all good, brother.
But
So
no, it's an honor, guys, and again, thankful that you guys have stayed friends and want to continue to support the stuff that I'm involved with and that Chris is involved with, and Texas in general, man. Thank you so much. Thank you.
yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
thanks
Absolutely.
guys.
We've said it
Anything
before and we'll
else?
say it again. You guys are always welcome. If you guys have projects, if you guys have stuff to talk about, like, you are more than welcome back on here.
New will to live.
Appreciate that, guys. Thanks a
Yeah, I
lot.
New
heard
will
that
to
loud and clear.
So new will to live is drums are tracked, guitars are. I do believe guitars are tracked also. I'm a little behind on lyric writing, and if you've ever known anything about me, it has to be right or not at all, right? So as soon as I have that record it. We're not gonna do what we did with therapy sessions, which is sit around for a year waiting for it to get pressed on vinyl. I'm gonna want to try to get it released ASAP, and when it's ready to start promoting it and pushing it, the Pit Therapy podcast is definitely gonna get hit up.
Love it.
We're here for it. We're here for it.
New Will to Live, New Die Young, Outpost 31.
As we're typing here, Mike Fury just hit me up and said that he just finished tracking the new Realms of Death EP, and that sounds
New
great.
Realms. Man,
And then we'll get new Swivel, right, Chris?
Swivel's in the writing process for a full length that we hope to get done this year.
Let's go.
It's everywhere. It's everywhere.
Good-
Hey man, I guess
Good year for Texas.
Do it while you can, dude. Do what you can. You never know. I mean, it's I know it sounds dismal and terrible to say it, but I mean, do what you can.
Yeah,
While we still can, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's one of the people that was associated with the project that unfortunately the guitar thing didn't work out. So a younger guy, younger than me, younger than Chris too. He asked me, what keeps you motivated, and I gave him some bullshit ass answer at first, like, oh, well, the artistic pursuit of happiness or whatever bullshit. And then I was like, man, I fucking lied to that dude. Let me fucking call him. And I called him the next day, and I was like, hey, what's up, Rob? And he goes, and I said, mortality. I said, in about 2 years, I'm gonna be 50, and I'm not at no halfway point. Sometimes you hear people that are about to turn 50. Yeah, the Bit 50, we made it halfway there. I'm like, halfway to what, motherfucker? You're already like you're in the fourth quarter already. You're not halfway through nothing anymore, dude. So it's like, man, make it count.
Absolutely.
It's great.
Well, sick. We really appreciate it. It was great to have you guys on. Great to have you back,
Thank you,
Rob.
guys.
Nice to meet you, Chris.
Trevor, Chris, Cal, thank you.
Super looking forward to 26. So we'll catch you guys on the next release.
All right.
Sounds great, fellas. Thanks a lot.
Appreciate it. We got to stick around though, right? You said we had to stick
just
around
for a second there. Yep.
Just for a second, yeah.
Gotcha.